If you ever looked into proxies for managing accounts, testing apps, or collecting data, you have probably came across the term mobile proxy. But what actually makes them different from residential or data center proxies? And why do people pay a premium for them? I'm Justinas from Oxylabs, and in this video I'll explain how mobile proxies actually work and what you need to know before choosing a provider. Let's get into it. So what's a mobile proxy? It's an intermediary server that routes your internet traffic through real mobile devices connected to cellular networks. This means when you use a mobile proxy, your request looks like it's coming from someone's smartphone or tablet, rather than a data center or a home router. To websites, you appear as a genuine mobile user, not a bot, not an automated tool. That's the basic idea. But let's look at what's actually happening behind the scenes. When you send a request through a mobile proxy, your request goes to the proxy server. The server forwards it through a real mobile device or a dongle with a SIM card connected to a real cellular network. That device has a real IP address assigned by a carrier like AT&T, T-Mobile, or Vodafone. The website sees traffic coming from that carrier-assigned IP. To them, you are just another person scrolling on their phone, and the response travels back the same way. That's why mobile proxies feel authentic. They are not pretending to be mobile devices, they literally are. So now you know how they work, but why mobile proxies so effective? Why don't websites just block them? It all comes down to how mobile networks handle IP addresses. They use carrier-grade network address translation, or CGNAT, a system that lets multiple users share the same IP address. Mobile carriers have millions of devices connecting daily, but they don't own enough public IP addresses to give each device a unique one. Technically, there is a reserved IP range just like this one, and it's a core part of how mobile networks are designed. That means dozens, sometimes hundreds of real users might be on the same IP address at any moment. Why does this matter? Websites are very careful about blocking mobile IPs. If they block one, they could cut off hundreds of legitimate users. With data center IPs, websites can tell they're coming from servers, not real people. So when these IPs are detected, they can block them. Residential IPs are much more trusted. Websites treat them as real users, almost as trusted as mobile, but they are still tied to a single household. Now that we know how they are so effective, let's look at their capacities. Especially when you're choosing between 3G, 4G, or 5G. What's the difference? And does it matter? Let's break it down. 3G is the oldest technology still around. Speeds max out around 3 megabits per second, and latency is high, often over 100 milliseconds. That's why most carriers are phasing it out in favor of 4G and 5G. That brings us to 4G and LTE, where most mobile traffic happens today. And for good reason. Speed range from 20 to 100 megabits per second, latency sits around 30 to 50 milliseconds, and for most use cases, that's more than enough. On top of that, 4G has 90% global coverage, including rural areas. So if reliability across locations matters to you, 4G is the way to go. There is 5G, the newest and fastest option. We're talking speeds up to 2 gigabits per second and latency as low as 1 to 10 milliseconds, which is basically instant. The downside is that 5G coverage is still mostly limited to urban areas, and 5G proxies cost more than 4G. So if you're choosing, go with 3G if you need a budget-friendly option, 4G if you want the best balance of speed and coverage, and 5G if performance is your top priority and cost isn't a concern. Now let's talk about legitimate use cases for mobile proxies. One of the most common use cases is multi-account management. If you manage multiple brand accounts or client accounts on platforms like Instagram or TikTok, mobile proxies help each account appear to come from a different mobile device and location. Just make sure the platform allows it. Another big one is mobile app testing. Developers need to test how apps behave across different regions, carriers, and network conditions. Mobile proxies let you simulate being in Japan, Brazil, or anywhere else. without actually traveling there. The same location and flexibility makes mobile proxies useful for web scraping and data collection. You can rotate through different IPs so websites see many different users instead of one automated bot. This is especially helpful for things like price monitoring, market research, and trend analysis. And if you're running digital ads, there is ad verification. You need to know your ads are appearing correctly across regions and devices. Mobile proxies let you check those parameters while appearing as a regular user. But like any proxy type, mobile proxies come with some trade-offs. For starters, mobile networks aren't as stable as wired connections. Speeds can fluctuate, latency varies with signal quality, and you might experience occasional disconnections from cell tower handovers. Then there is cost, and there is a big one. Mobile proxies are significantly more expensive than data center or residential proxies. You're paying for real SIM cards, real data plans, and real devices, so the overhead adds up. And finally, location coverage varies by provider. Some countries or cities might not be available, so you'll want to check that before committing. Given all that, you might be tempted to try a free mobile proxy. I get it. But I need to be direct here. Avoid free mobile proxies. This isn't just an opinion. A 2024 academic study analyzed over 600,000 free proxies across 30 months. Only about a third ever worked. Over 16,000 were caught manipulating content. Another 2,000 had security vulnerabilities that could let attackers control connected devices. Free proxies often log everything you do and sell the data. Some inspect your traffic and can see passwords and credit card numbers. Some distribute malware. Some turn your device into an exit node for other people's traffic without your knowledge. If you're going to use mobile proxies, use a reputable paid provider with clear ownership, transparent privacy policies, and actual customer support. If you want to learn more about mobile proxies or compare them to residential, data center, or ISP proxies, head over to our blog for more details. I'll drop a link below. Have more questions? Drop a comment below or join our Discord community where we discuss all things web scraping and proxies. And if you need help with Oxylabs products, reach out at support@oxylabs.io or use the live chat on our homepage. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.